What's good, y'all? We're back at it again, the All Facts No Cap podcast. I'm your host, Harsh Sakar here, and this is part two to this is the part two to Bucks are now the NBA champions. Now what episode? And Steven is here again. And would you like to say anything?
Nope. Thank you
Oh,
for having me again.
let's fine. Let's start. Let's go into it. So, one free agent I kind of left out was Spencer Dinwiddie. What do you think he will do?
I've heard rumors about Spencer Dinwiddie going to. I've heard a bunch of rumors, but honestly, I have a feeling if the Nets are going to give him a lot, I don't think the Nets are going to obviously give him too much money due to like the big three and their like salary cap and stuff. But uh, if I was Spencer Dinwiddie, I would actually stay with the Nets, to be honest.
Yeah, I was actually gonna because he came off an injury, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
like he has a torn ACL, so I think he will accept his player option so that he can have a
Yep.
1 year prove it deal to see
Yep.
like if he can prove himself, and then maybe he'll leave after next year. But
I've also
yeah,
seen
I think
rumors
that's
where, yeah, I've also seen rumors where he actually leaves the Nets and then goes to join the Lakers with DeMar DeRozan or something. But I see
I
a
see.
very low likelihood.
I saw the a rumor was like DeMar and Kyle Lowry wanting to team up in LA, but I highly doubt that's gonna happen. Like I don't know
Yeah,
what's the chances for that to happen unless like one of them takes like a massive pay cut.
that's
Because
what
Kyle
DeRozan
Lowry,
is
yeah,
going to
because
do,
yeah,
right?
that's what yeah I know. But Kyle Lowry apparently wants 30 million for 3 years, a 3 year
Mm,
90 million contract.
yeah, I mean he's got his ring. He's probably going to retire in 3 years. So I mean it's
I
good
will
that he wants
say,
money.
yeah, I will say that like okay, so trade season is now heating up. It's heating up big. Guys like Bradley Beal, Ben Simmons, what's his name? Not Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard maybe can request a trade. Now, who else is also in the trade market? Forgot it. There's also I forgot his name.
I think those are
I
the
think
only
CJ.
big
I think
names.
CJ. I think CJ McCollum too. But oh
I
yeah,
think those
so
are,
since we talked about, did you see the offer for what Daryl Morey had for Ben Simmons?
dude. That was
It's a Godfather.
man.
Like, I don't know.
It. Sorry, go ahead.
So that's a Godfather offer. Like what? Like, do you not understand his stock right now?
Man, yeah.
If it was like a
Wait,
year
so
ago,
wait,
you
you're
probably
talking
would
about
have.
Yeah,
If it
we
was
sorry,
like a
you're
year
talking about
ago,
the offer that what's called that Philly made to Toronto, right?
yeah, yeah.
Dude.
If it was like a year ago, you probably would have taken that. But
No, if even if it was a year ago, I probably wouldn't have given up so much just for doing something. It's like a fourth pick, and then our best point guard, our veteran point guard who is still good, and then a young, developing, almost in his prime OG Anunoby just for Ben Simmons. That's a terrible trade. I'm sorry.
I know, yeah. So, but Toronto is still pursuing him. Like they want to be the team to get him, right?
Yep.
So, like, what would you just give up instead of that offer?
I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
out of
you
those
you
four,
said last time you said you wanted to just get Lowry, maybe a pick or two, but like
yeah, a
that's
Lowry
really
signing
it.
trade would obviously be ideal, but um, I honestly I don't know. I don't know how much value we should really give up for Ben Simmons because if Ben Simmons can get over his like fear and his uncertainty about shooting the three, he can be like a very solid start caliber all star level player in the NBA. So
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like he just needs to not play scared. Like you said last episode in Toronto, he's gonna feel like it's his team because it basically is, right? He's if he does actually join Toronto, he's probably gonna be one of the best
And
players
like
on Toronto.
Nick Nurse won't be afraid to lose his job, so he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna hold him accountable if he doesn't shoot.
Mm-hmm. And also one thing, Ben Simmons, we've always talked about how he's a defensive player, right? Like he was a defensive player of the
Yeah.
year candidate. And Toronto is a really like defensive centric team with Nick Nurse's defense. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like Ben Simmons will fare really well in Toronto, but
Yeah, for
just
sure.
depends what happens.
And yeah, where do you think Bradley Beal will go? Because apparently the Warriors will give their seventh and 14th pick, and Andrew Wiggins James wasn't for him.
That's on that I'm gonna need to think about that a little bit more because I feel like that's a really good deal, but um just depends because the Warriors, Andrew Wiggins is obviously a great player, but compared to someone like Bradley Beal, and then just a few picks like the seventh and 14th, I feel like the Warriors are in win now mode. So because Clay Thompson's coming
Yeah,
back.
exactly. That's why
Yeah.
I think Bradley Beal would be good there.
That's why, yeah, it's gonna be, yeah, the trade
By
is
the
good. I
way,
feel like,
yeah. Continue.
sorry, go ahead, go ahead. I was just gonna
Oh,
say like the trade is good for
yeah, I
for
was
both
gonna say
sides.
that too, and yeah, I don't like because I only think like the only teams that can possibly get Bradley Beal are the Warriors, and I think the best offer though will be the Nuggets. I think if the Nuggets are willing to trade Michael Porter Jr. for Bradley Beal, they can be a scary team. Jamal Murray, Bradley Beal, and Nikola Jokic as a big three.
But still, you got to think about Michael Porter Jr.'s value though. He's, obviously
Yo,
he
his
didn't play
value
his
is
rookie
high
year,
right
but
now. Yeah, but his value
you
is
can't
high right
really.
now.
He's gonna keep getting better. He's still a young player, right?
Yeah, but
He
the
kind of
Nuggets
just
are a
missed
win
all of.
now.
Yeah, the Nuggets are winning now, but depends because Michael Porter Jr. is at that point in his career where he should start putting up even better numbers. But it just depends what everybody
I
does. I feel
actually
like
I actually
either
saw a trade. I actually saw not a trade, but I saw a team. Like I saw a video where they said they were talking about the best teams that can trade for Bradley Beal. I think a team that could fit well for him is the Chicago Bulls. They can trade
uh,
Kobe White and Patrick Williams, like one of those guys, or probably both of those guys, and try to get Bradley Beal.
uh, I mean both players are obviously really young players, but I feel like would Washington really do that?
Would Washington not want to get too? Maybe, yeah, maybe they since Bradley Beal's been so loyal to them, they want the best situation for him, so they probably won't do
Mm-hmm.
it. But I'm saying like that's still an offer to have.
Yeah, it's enough to keep in mind, but I feel like the Bradley Beal Warriors trade is actually
Yeah, I think
that's
that
probably the
would
best
be
trade.
probably the best. I don't think that's the
I feel
best
like
offer
any
because
I feel like any
I do think the Nuggets have the better offer, but I do think the Warriors are more realistic.
hmm
Hmm.
I feel like any team's trade with the Warriors right now is going to be a good trade. Like obviously going back to the Pascal Siakam trade,
Yeah, we were
now Bradley
talking about
Beal,
that. Oh
I
yeah, and
feel like
by the way, I saw this report there. It says Pascal Siakam wants out, and the Raptors are done with him.
really,
Yeah, I saw like two like reports on that.
I've never seen that. I feel like Pascal Siakam would be loyal to Toronto based on like the.
No, but I'm talking about the front office doesn't want him on the team.
Huh. Well, I mean, right now I feel like his value isn't like as high as it used to be because in 2020 he was an all-star starter caliber player, right? And you saw how good he really was in 2019 playoffs. So like depending on it all just kind of depends on like how he does next season, I feel like. But if Toronto wants to trade him now and there's a good offer on the table, especially from the Warriors, I really like that trade, by the way. I feel
Yeah,
like
you
they should
said that
do it.
last time.
Mhm.
All right, so speaking of oh yeah, there was a trade yesterday about the Grizzlies trading up the number 10th pick.
Oh, I think that already happened actually.
Yeah, I know. I'm not
Mhm.
talking about that. They gave away Jonas Valanciunas, the 10th pick, and for Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, and the 17th pick. What's your take? And the second rounder, I think. What's so what I think is a good trade for the Grizzlies. I mean, for the
Yeah.
Pelicans. I mean, I don't think it's good. I don't really necessarily understand it for the Grizzlies, but I do understand the Pelican side because Zion, you want Zion to stay, and Jonas
Mhm.
Valanciunas can be a stretch big at times. He's also really great offensively, so you can make Zion just focus a lot more on defense, so he can improve on that. And and they're just trying to make the playoffs, so yeah, I
Mhm.
think they're just trying to get the best piece as possible because Eric Steven Adams couldn't fit with Zion. Eric Bledsoe is not also not a good fit with Zion. So I think it was better to. And then for the Grizzlies, I think it was just better. I don't know if it was good to let Valanciunas go because maybe he's getting older, so maybe they're looking for a replacement in the draft at that 10th pick. But I've also seen reports where, I've also seen reports where they want to move up. They want to move up even further with that 10th pick.
Yeah. Mhm. Who do you think they would be targeting though with that pick? Like a
I saw like they're looking for Scotty Barnes or Jonathan Kuminga.
mhm. I would say Jonathan Kuminga would really fit well, but I don't. I'm just gonna say right now, I don't think they're gonna get that high into the draft to really get Jonathan Kuminga because with I feel like Jonathan Kuminga is gonna fall a bit into the draft, but not to the 10th. He's
I know,
I
same.
say he's around 7th and 8th pick in the draft because this draft class is like stacked.
Oh wait,
Normally, Jonathan Kuminga.
I forgot. No, no, they're also looking. They're also looking to see if they can get Josh Giddey and James Bouknight with that
Uh,
10th pick. Yeah, they want to move up even further to get Jonathan Kuminga or Scotty Barnes, but they're
mhm.
looking. But with that 10th pick, they're thinking Josh Giddey can fall. And you probably seen. Yeah, I'm actually really high on Josh Giddey. I actually think
Mhm.
he can be a really great player in the NBA because he's a six
Yep.
eight point guard. He can also play the wing, and he also is a professional athlete. He played in the NBL, the same league as LaMelo last year.
No, from LaMelo Ball, you actually everybody. I think everybody in like the North American basketball scene kind of just got to look at Australian basketball. Like you can't say the NBL is bad. Like
For sure,
who cover
it's
the NBL are
professional.
all like yeah, all of the NBL players who do eventually move on to the NBA, from what I've seen so far, are great players. They transition really well into the
Yeah,
NBA.
they've been pretty solid. Yeah,
Mhm.
LaMelo Ball, Jashawn Tate.
Just on, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So okay, yeah. So what do you think about that trade? Because I think the Pelicans won because it's just better for what they do, but I don't really understand what the Grizzlies are trying to do. Like, so what do you think about it?
I feel like the Grizzlies are just trying to kind of surround their young core with a veteran, leadership thing with Steven Adams and what's his name again? Sorry,
Eric Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe. Yeah, because their core is really really young, and I feel like in order for them to make the push into the playoffs, they would need some veteran leadership, and from a big man like Steven Adams. Obviously, that's Steven Adams is a solid player, and obviously, Eric Bledsoe is also a solid player. He hasn't been really doing well on the Pelicans, I would say, but when you compare to when he was on the Bucks, but uh, yeah, I
I
feel like
think
this trade,
I think he's more of a buyout market than I
yeah.
think he'll be used as a buyout market then.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the thing, though. I feel like this trade is good for both sides because both sides kind of got what they need. Like, obviously, yeah, they're just it's a good. I don't feel like either team really won. They just kind of it was just a good trade.
All right, so well, let's move on. So, audience, if you're listening, we're Steve and I are going to do this mock draft. We're only going to do the lottery because those are the picks that really matter, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, Steve and I are going to do the lottery picks. So, how it's going to work is that both have our big boards out. We're both going to exchange a pick. So, Steven, do you want the number one overall pick? Like, do you want the number one overall pick? And then I say we change as the pick goes on, or do you want me to?
Oh, I mean, it's your call. I mean, we all know who we're gonna take with the number one overall pick. Actually, I think top seven is pretty set based on our drafts. Yeah.
But however, there's actually a touch to it. I think since we are controlling these picks, I think it's it's what we think is best for this, if for what's best for the team rather than like what's more realistic. I'm gonna say that's how the mock draft's gonna work. So I'll take the number one overall pick because it's my podcast. So Steven, get your fence bow thing ready. We're gonna
Yep.
start. So okay, let's play that music. Let's
Bro,
play
all right.
the
You can just honestly, you can edit that in the post. It will sound
yeah.
good.
We'll see. With the first overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons select Stephen Moo, guard from Sir Johnny McNulty.
Nah,
Okay,
bro.
okay, okay. Cade Cunningham. Cade
Bro, I barely
Cunningham,
made the
guard,
SGM team, bro.
guard from OSU. All right, so Stephen, you got the number two pick.
Also, are you
Oh
not gonna
yeah,
like give a little bit of info on the
oh
player?
yeah. Okay, no, because since we already know Cade Cunningham's the number one overall pick, so like, is there really anything we have to say? All right, so Detroit decided to not trade down. They decided to like go stay with Cade Cunningham, of course, because Cade Cunningham is a 6'8" guard that can also play forward. He's very shifty. He can shoot the three well. He's I'm not gonna go out of the world and say he's a generational talent. I think he could be, but coming out as a prospect, I don't think he's similar to like how Luka Doncic and Ben Simmons were coming out of college or coming out of his prospects. But This man has like a Luka Doncic type ceiling.
Hmm.
So
Uh,
that's what I'm gonna say. And
yeah.
if what do you want? Are you gonna elaborate on that?
Oh no, man. This is I. That's you can't really say anything more about Cade Cunningham. We've seen like his game just kind of. You
He
can just
also
see
fits.
his game like flashes.
Also like Detroit. Detroit. He also fits well with Detroit. I don't think it's a great fit, but it's not that bad of a fit. He fits with Killian Hayes
Mhm,
in
he
the
does. And
backcourt.
I feel like Cade Cunningham actually just fits really well with all of the top four teams actually. Like Cade would fit well in Houston. He
I would
would do pretty
say,
well in Cleveland.
yeah. So I saw reports where Detroit is not interested, but I think it's just they're trying to beg teams to trade up,
Hmm.
like to give up, because the Detroit rejected OKC's offer for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and the sixth pick for that number one overall pick. So that's how much faith they have in those three guys,
Hmm.
which
But
is Cade Cunningham.
I have a feeling that Cade. I have a feeling that was a real. I haven't actually heard about that trade, but on paper that seems like a good trade because Shea Gilgeous-Alexander obviously is a great player, great young
He's
player, right?
amazing.
Yeah,
He had an underrated year this year.
yeah, exactly. And the sixth pick, like for a team like Detroit, I mean, I think they would get more value from the sixth than from just Cade alone. Honestly, like from the sixth, you can probably land someone like Jonathan Kuminga, right?
Mm-hmm. However, like I do think Cade Cunningham is probably the only, apart from like Evan Mobley, I do think Cade Cunningham has like a high floor, high ceiling type of is a type of high floor, high ceiling type of player.
Mm-hmm.
Because he definitely has a high upside, but then even if he doesn't reach his upside, I'm pretty sure his floor is pretty safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All right,
but
so do I
I
say
would
my
not.
number two?
All right, yeah. So number one, Cade Cunningham.
All right,
So you start with the number two pick.
all right. So how does this app work? Do you just click draft or
You just click draft. So draft Cade Cunningham first. Yeah.
okay, and then oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, there we
All right,
go.
so with the number two overall pick, I actually feel like the big board here from this website is actually relatively accurate. With the number two pick, the Houston Rockets pick Jalen Green.
Let's go. I was like begging you. I was like, please say Jalen
Yeah,
Green. Please say Jalen
Jalen Green.
Green.
It's just it fits really. He just is a guard. He's explosive. He has a
he
really
also
complete game.
he also like I literally there was a report that it just came out today. It said like he only worked out with Detroit and Houston. He only he thinks he's only gonna be on those teams, and I like that confidence.
Mhm.
I
I
like
feel
that
like
confidence.
Jalen Green is not gonna fall. Like people are
Yeah,
gonna
he's
say,
a
"Yo,
shifty
Jalen Green."
guard. He's a 6'6" shifty guard. He's probably the best scorer in this draft. I'm gonna see easily. He's easily the best scorer in this draft, and he
Mhm.
has all the tools that can translate. He has all the
Yeah.
physical tools. He has all the he has the scoring talent to translate into the draft. And however, like he is a lot more raw than I think he is. But I do think because Houston is a rebuilding situation, they can probably develop him.
Mhm. Yeah,
But yeah,
he has a relatively although this entire draft, he probably has one of the most complete like sets of skills to transition to the NBA. So
and
I feel like Houston.
he also played in the G League
Mhm.
Ignite. So he played against NBA level competition, and that's what I like what he did to first path to the
Mhm.
NBA. All right, so continue. Or you feel like Houston what?
Oh, let's move on. Number three.
No, you can wait. What do you think Houston would do?
Sorry, excuse me.
Were you just gonna say he would fit well with Houston because he has like
Yeah,
Christian
he
Wood
would
as
fit well
well?
with Houston. Obviously, I said he had like a complete game, and he's from the G League experience, and you just kind of said everything that I was gonna say. So,
Yeah, and he has chemistry
yeah.
with Kevin Porter Jr.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, all right. So you said Jalen Green. Okay. Since trades are allowed, I think the Cavs will trade this pick.
For what?
I think OKC will trade up for the number three pick.
Okay.
So I think I'm not gonna go in depth with the details. I'm just gonna say OKC trades up with the Cavs to get Evan Mobley.
Okay.
Do
Uh,
do do do.
that
Okay, here it is.
this one kind of hurts a little bit from a Toronto fan, but Evan Mobley is a very good player, someone that would fit
If
really
it
really
were the
well.
Cavs, I probably would say they would not pick Mobley. They would pick Suggs. But I do think OKC will trade up the draft, like trade up for the
Mhm.
third pick because I don't think they're because they tried the number one pick. That's probably not going to work. I don't think they're going to trade with Houston, and then I just think I do think the Cavs will want to trade down so that they can get more assets to build around their team.
See, actually, that's what I was actually thinking too. So, I feel like people were saying how the Cavs are going to pick,
Evan
sorry,
Mobley.
Evan Mobley. Yeah, but the thing is though, like, why would they need Evan Mobley? I feel like I
Yeah,
honestly on
Jared
my
Allen
big
is a
board,
good center already. Yeah.
yeah. So on my big board, I actually had Evan Mobley, what's it called, going to Toronto at number 4, and then Jalen Suggs at number 3
The
to the
Cavs.
Cavs. But yeah.
Oh yeah, because they want to get rid of Colin Sexton. Yeah.
hmm
But
So
I do think this will be a good offer. I do think OKC will trade up the draft to get Evan Mobley because the
mhm.
Cavs are not too fond of him, and then Cavs will try to
so
trade down because
what would
this
that
is a
trade look like?
what would a trade look like? Maybe okay. So obviously the sixth pick, probably like another pick in this draft, like a set, maybe like another first or maybe a second because OKC has a ton of picks,
Mhm.
and then probably like a player on an expiring contract.
Okay, so
And for that third pick. Yeah. And
hmm,
maybe like another second pick, like a pick swap.
okay. So I guess if you take Evan Mobley, I'm gonna have to shift around with my in my big board here. Obviously, as Toronto, as Masai and Bobby Webster said, we always take the best player here in Toronto. It doesn't really matter about team needs. And I feel like in this case, Toronto selecting Jalen Suggs would also be a relatively good pick. So at number 4, the Toronto Raptors select Jalen Suggs.
All right. I'm not mad at that because it makes sense. Kyle Lowry is probably going to be gone. You want to
Mhm.
replace him, like not immediately, but just you want to find that replacement. And it's
You would
Jalen
have
Suggs. Jalen Suggs is probably the worst player out of the top four,
mhm.
but he's probably the best in terms of everything else. So that's a pretty good deal.
Mhm.
So,
Uh,
like, what else? So, why do you think Jalen Suggs? Do you think he would fit well in Toronto? Because I do
yeah,
think because
obviously.
he is great at defense and he is great at transition. I do think Toronto really revolves around those two types of play.
See, that's the thing with Jalen Suggs, though. He's obviously coming out of Gonzaga and the big NCAA run this year. I feel like honestly, I have mixed feelings about Jalen Suggs. Obviously, Toronto is a great fit for Jalen Suggs, like you said, because of his defense. But um, yeah, so I just want to see if Toronto does end up picking Jalen Suggs. I want to see how he ends up fitting with Toronto as time goes.
Mhm. So you're kind of iffy on the fit with all of them.
Okay.
You know,
Mhm.
I'm asking you. You're trying kind of iffy on the fit with in Toronto with Jalen Suggs.
I feel like if Toronto does something with Kyle Lowry, like if he leaves or we come up with some sort of sign in trade, I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Uh I feel like yeah, so Jalen Suggs will be obviously a replacement player. So the starting lineup next year would probably have to start like Fred VanVleet and maybe have we can have can Jalen Suggs play the shooting guard position?
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can.
Okay. So obviously with this defense and everything, I feel like that would fit really well in Toronto.
Mm. Also, like Toronto kind of like Gonzaga in a way, if you know what I
hmm
mean. Like
Yeah.
they do like high intensity defense and they do like transition play.
hmm
So, all right. So you said okay. So the first four picks, those are not like we all know those are going to be the top four picks. However, okay. So now it's the fifth pick, and the Orlando Magic have that pick. And you know how high I am on Jonathan Kaminga.
hmm
So since Orlando does not really have great wing depth and they also need more talent, wing talent, I do think the Orlando so or Jonathan Kuminga would be a good pick for them. So for the fifth pick, the Orlando Magic select Jonathan Kuminga.
Hmm.
He played with the G League Ignite. He is a versatile defender because he can guard 1 through 4. And he does need to work a lot on his offensive game, but he has a lot of raw talent, but he has all the physical tools to be a star in this league. I do think because what he reminds me as a prospect is more of like what Jaylen Brown and Kawhi Leonard were coming out of college. I'm not saying he will be them, but I'm saying if Orlando is on a rebuilding team, they traded Vucevic, they traded Fournier, they traded all their veteran assets. I think they're gonna just look for whoever is the most talented player, who has the highest upside, and I do think Jonathan Kuminga has that, especially at this part of the draft, assuming all this goes down.
Mm-hmm. Orlando actually, yeah, honestly, Orlando's on full rebuild, so them picking probably one of the most talented high ceiling players is good. Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Okay, so
Turning
you're
to
at the
Giannis right
sixth
here.
pick. You're at the
That's a good
sixth pick, and it's for the Cleveland Cavaliers because we did the trade.
Mm-hmm. So for the Cleveland Cavaliers, yeah. So then now that you picked Jonathan Kuminga a little bit high, let me actually think about this a little bit. What is the Cavs? The Cavs are very. They have a good center. They have a good, core with Kevin Love, and Colin Sexton and Darius Garland. So what do they need? Would Scotty Barnes fit here, or do you think they're gonna?
That's for you to decide. I'm not taking this pick.
Mm-hmm. I would realistically say if this was the Oklahoma City Thunder, and some trade happens with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they would take Davion Mitchell here. But honestly, Scotty Barnes obviously doesn't have the most complete game. He lacks that 3-point shooting, but he is physical enough from his highlights. So I guess Oklahoma City could select Scotty Barnes. So yeah, we're 6.
Doing the Cavs. We're doing the Cavs have that pick.
Oh, sorry, not Oklahoma. Sorry, the Cavs. My bad. Yeah. So obviously the Cavs. Yeah, this is tough because. Yeah. So I guess number 6, the Cavs would select Scotty Barnes here because I don't feel like the trade up would really happen this year, but especially with so little days left to the draft. All the players probably could have worked out with their respective team already. So I guess Scotty Barnes to the Cavs. This one I'm not very sure about though.
Okay, but you're picking on it. As you probably heard me in the last episode, you said Scotty Barnes does have a high ceiling, but I said I don't really think that's the case here. I do think he will be a good player because he already has the frame developed. He already has he is a great dribbler. He is a great ball hand. He is a great dribbler. He is aggressive at times, but I just need to see more of that because in Florida State, I know everything was pretty sloppy over there, but it was also kind of sometimes he didn't really make that situation great, especially in that game. Who did they lose to in the March Madness?
Oh, I actually forgot. It was a very low team too. I think it was Abilene Christian, or that was Texas. Sorry.
Wait, let me. Florida State. March Madness. Yeah, they lost to Michigan. Yeah, they lost to Michigan in the Sweet 16.
Well, that's not a bad team.
That wasn't a bad team, yeah. But Scotty Barnes didn't really do much of that game. I'm just gonna say that because Michigan did a great job to show how big his weaknesses actually were. However, I do think Scotty Barnes is a really great player because he helps his teammates more than himself. And when he's aggressive at times, maybe he can develop that 3-point shot. I think he can turn into a Draymond Green type role. And he's also a really amazing defender. He's an amazing defender.
Yeah, it's also unfortunate that if the Cavs and Oklahoma City trade does happen, it would be tough because assuming if Toronto trades for the number 7 pick, I would love Scotty Barnes on Toronto. A great player. Toronto, I feel like Toronto's developmental program would get him that 3-point shot that he needs to be a complete player in the NBA, right?
Yep. All right. So
with the 7th, do you think
pick, I have the 7th pick, so I control. So I'm debating between 2 trades right now. I'm thinking of the Siakam trade, so Toronto gets the seventh pick, or I'm thinking of the Warriors trading for Bradley Beal, the what we talked about. So here is I've been pretty rude to Toronto fans this thing because I picked Evan Mobley before, but I'm gonna go with the Washington Wizards. The Warriors agreeing with the Washington Wizards, so Bradley Beal goes to the Warriors, and then the Wizards get the 7th and 14th pick.
Dang.
I'm sorry, but I just think this is more realistic because the Pascal Siakam rumors is kind of died down now.
Oh no, man, that would be a really good trade. Let's just see what happens. I feel like both of these trades have potential, man. But
all right,
so
but okay, so I'm saying the Wizards have the 7th pick right now, and this is actually pretty tough because I do think I don't really know what they would want because if they traded Bradley Beal, so they might have wanted a replacement for him, but there's not really a lot of great scorers at this point. So what I would do if I was the Washington Wizards is that with the 7th pick, he's not really the best player available right now, but I do think this is what Washington will go for if they do this trade. And I'm gonna go James Bouknight out of what college did he go to? UConn.
Connecticut, yeah.
Yeah, UConn.
James
Bouknight. The Wizards select James Bouknight. So
I've seen highlights of him in
he is
UConn.
He is a pretty great scorer. He actually is a great scorer. I don't know why I forgot about him. He's actually a really great scorer. Will he be a 3 scorer at the NBA level? Maybe. He does have all the tools, and maybe Washington can develop that. However, like he does have shooting streaks. He's not really great attacking the basket, and he's not really a good defender. However, I do think he has like a Jordan Clarkson type, not ceiling, but I think he's like that type of player. Maybe he can turn into like a great 6-man. But I do think James Bouknight is what Washington will look for if they trade Bradley Beal.
Yeah, so James Bouknight, obviously I've seen I don't really know him super well. I've seen the highlights of him playing in college, but he seems like a great player from what I've seen, so can't really say too much.
Mm-hmm. And he was like 10th in my big board. I just think Washington would look for him more than these other guys.
So on my big board, so my big board is actually all messed up now because of like all the trades that we've been doing. Let me just go ahead and reorganize.
All right, so for the 7th pick, I have the Washington Wizards like James Bouknight. So you have the 8th pick.
All right, so the 8th pick, this is the pick that so this is
Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando. So it was isn't this the Chicago? Oh no, it was a trade.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, they traded Vucevic for those picks.
Yeah, it was a Vucevic trade. Okay. So Orlando. Now that we've gotten Jonathan Kuminga at 5th. I feel like Jonathan Kuminga will obviously fit that wing position really well. And that 3, he can play the 3, he can play anything, he can play the 4, he can play everything, right? So obviously the Magic are a rebuilding team. Yeah, this is tough because when you get deeper down to the draft, you have to consider what your team needs. So I have a feeling that it is because I feel like Cole Anthony will develop more on the Magic. So I don't think David Mitchell will be a good pick for the Magic right now. Obviously, I'm really high on Cole Anthony, and so I'm done with my ramble. So I feel like with the what is this, number 8 overall pick, the Orlando Magic select Keon Johnson.
Keon Johnson, yeah, I actually really like Keon Johnson. He's an athletic. He's an athletic guard, but he can also be a wing at times, and he's an okay shooter. It's just that Tennessee didn't really have great spacing around them. So like it was a lot more harder for him to do it, and especially with his
Mhm.
shot creation. But
Yeah.
I actually do like this pick.
Hmm. Kane Johnson,
So like
it
what
would
do you
obviously
think?
he's a young player. Obviously, he's an amazing player. All of these guys coming in the draft are young. I don't know what I'm saying, but obviously for someone like Orlando who's in full rebuild mode right now, he would be really good with Orlando. Kane Johnson.
Hmm. So it's more of a guard depth. So you're taking this as a guard depth.
Mm-hmm. Because I feel because
How
I
I do
obviously like.
think. Oh yeah. So what?
Sorry,
So
go
why
ahead.
Key? So why Keon Johnson? That's just what I was gonna ask you.
So yeah, the obviously the development of like obviously a young player for a rebuilding team, he has a really high ceiling, as most people
Mm,
said,
yeah, he does. He
and
does.
and if he plays sorry, the reason why I didn't take Davion Mitchell, obviously Davion Mitchell is an explosive guard, right? We've seen how well he can play in the throughout the NCAA tournament, but um, I feel like Kean Johnson would fit well with the Orlando Magics because of how, like, sorry, the reason why I didn't select that David Mitchell is because I want Cole Anthony to like develop because he obviously coming into the draft last year, he had a really high ceiling as well. So, uh, this Orlando team is getting a lot of young players, which is good, obviously, for their future.
Hmm.
So,
You're also cool. You're also a North Carolina fan, so you saw how
mhm,
cool
yeah,
Anthony was.
maybe that is a little bit biased, but I mean,
Mm, yeah, I do like this Keon Johnson pick because I do really like his upside, and he's also I think he's only like 18.
uh, he's oh really?
I think he's only like 18.
He had a
Let me
late birthday
check.
probably or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So the ninth pick, very Sacramento Kings. So since I have this, I have this. So this honestly might be an unpopular opinion, but with the ninth pick, I have the Sacramento Kings selecting. Okay, I'm okay. I'm in a hole right now. There's so many wing players I have on my board that I do think would go well with the Sacramento Kings. And since this guy has fallen all over to nine, and I do think he has a very high upside, I'm gonna go with the ninth pick. The Sacramento Kings select Moses Moody, guard
Moses
from
Moody.
Arkansas.
I know you're really high on Moses Moody, but is he really worth the ninth pick?
The one thing Sacramento likes to do, right?
Yep.
Sacramento left for the last for okay, so they have the core of De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton at the backcourt.
Mhm.
What's one thing they would want a lot more, and that is wing depth.
Wing players, yeah.
Wing depth. And you could argue there are better wing players, but I do think Moses Moody has a higher upside than all of those guys because Moses
Mhm.
Moody has a good handle. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the three very well, especially in
Mhm.
Arkansas because they're not really well known to have really like great spacing. So he was able to space the floor well, and it's better for Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox just feed off Moses Moody, and he can create a shot of his own. And I do think he didn't really show that as much in Arkansas, but I do think he has like a Chris Middleton type ceiling, and that's just speaking a lot. That just shows how high I am on him.
Mhm. All right, wait. So for the next pick, that's obviously a very good pick. I feel like he obviously Moses Moody. You were really high on him. I know that. So, it was. I guess for Sacramento, anybody is a good player at this
I
point.
also do think I also do think yeah, I also do think he has a safe floor too. That's why I think Sacramento would want that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because I do
Uh,
think he has all the tools to be a 3 and D wing like as in the NBA level already. But I do think he has a much higher upside.
mhm.
So
So all right.
you
So
have the
for the next
tenth
pick,
pick,
it's
the
yep.
Grizzlies, because
This
the
is the
Pelicans
Memphis
traded
Grizzlies pick.
because they traded up.
Oh, sorry, you just cut out.
Yeah, the Memphis Grizzlies traded up for the 10th pick.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought your mic just cut out for a second. So now Memphis has Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and no more JV. So, in this situation, I'm kind of between two players right now because with Eric Bledsoe, I feel like Eric Bledsoe is at that point in his career where he would be a really good mentor for whoever they're going to pick here. Obviously, like I said before in the podcast, I'm really really high on Josh Giddey. So with the number 10 pick, the Memphis Grizzlies select Josh Giddey. I was
Yeah,
kind of between him and Franz
I
Wagner.
was about to ask. I was about to add that too. I was wanting you to say Josh Giddey because I'm really high on Josh Giddey. We already said this already. We both are.
Yep.
So I do think, and that's actually who the Memphis Grizzlies are going to target, because I think that's how the conversation came up, and I do think it's great. I think it's more of a steal how he fell to them.
Well, see, that's the thing. He's not a flashy player though. He's just more like
he's like a good ball handler like outside. Like so that I think they're looking for like ball handlers, guys who can like run the offense apart from Ja Morant. So I do think Josh Giddey can be great for that. I also think he can be used as the wing too, because he does show flashes of great wing defense.
That's why I was also kind of considering Franz Wagner because of like how well he played with Michigan as a wing player, right? So, and also another thing with Josh Giddey in Memphis is Memphis, like based on that trade, you already know Memphis wants to make the playoffs, and for someone who's coming from the NBL, who has loads of professional basketball experience, he would obviously help the Memphis Grizzlies a bit more onto their upcoming year. Hopefully, make the playoffs.
Okay, so we're both high on Josh Giddey. So Josh Giddey was taken for the 10th pick, and now I have the 11th pick, and that's where Charlotte will select. And I'm kind of in a tough hole right now because they do need a center because Cody Zeller will be gone. But then I don't know if they're gonna want to take us because what center is great here now. I do think that Turkish guy Alperen Sengun. I'm really high on him. But with the 11th pick, really, he played in the Turkish league. He broke records in rebounding. He broke records in the assist for a big man. Like he planned points. He's actually been a really great player.
I've actually never heard of him, but he seemed, from what I'm hearing from you, he seems like a great player. Obviously, everybody who's good enough to be in the NBA lottery are good players. So
yeah, I do think he could be used as a lottery pick. But so we have. It's really tough for Charlotte because I don't know like who they really would. Well, I don't know like what they're going for because I think they're trying to make the playoffs with LaMelo, Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier. So that's already a good core right there. They have Malik Monk, PJ Washington, Miles Bridges. So I do think they would want more of a big man. So honestly, I'm gonna roll the dice here and take the Turkish guy. The center, 6'9" center, Alperen Sengun. I think he's great as a modern day big, and I do think he can be great as a role man. And he can space the floor a bit. Like think of Bam Adebayo, but more of a playmaker. Bam Adebayo. Just think about that. I'm not saying he'll beat that guy, which of course, because that's an all-star right there. But that's an all-star right there. But I do think he really has a high upside. His form might not be very safe, but if Charlotte wants to develop or maybe just have this young team going forward and want more people in the front court, I do think Alperen Sengun is a great pick. He wasn't on your big board. So it's kind of like
I only have my my top 12 down, so he wasn't in my top 12. So looking at this, what we have left right now, obviously I feel like so with the 12th pick, are we moving on now?
Yeah, so with the 11th pick, I have the Charlotte Hornets selecting Alperen Sengun.
All right, so with the 12th pick, since we're basically assuming DeMar DeRozan is gone, I feel like San Antonio obviously has a bunch of talented guards and a bunch of talented guards in like DeJounte Murray and Lonnie Walker. Great players. Obviously have way more room to develop.
Keldon Johnson too. Keldon Johnson's pretty good.
Keldon Johnson, yeah. He put up some really, really nice numbers last year too. It was
all right. So like what?
So honestly, I feel like that he probably shouldn't have dropped this low, but based on the teams selected, sorry, based on the draft order, I feel like with the number 12 overall pick, I feel like the San Antonio Spurs select Franz Wagner, great player coming out of Michigan. I watched a lot of Michigan highlights since the whole rumor about like me wanting to go to the University of Michigan, right? So I follow their basketball a lot, and watching him play throughout the season, it was a sensational player. He deserves being in the lottery here in the NBA draft.
All right, that's actually not that bad of a pick. I'm not I don't really know much about Franz Wagner, so I would have to believe you here. However, like I do, I've seen some of his highlights, and he's very explosive. He is aggressive a lot. He shows aggression a lot of the times, and he's an underrated passer. He actually has a great passing
He is also
ability from what I've seen.
he's incredibly obviously you said he was explosive. He's also incredibly consistent like
Yeah,
throughout
that's
his
that's
days in
that's what you
Michigan.
care.
Mm-hmm.
However, yeah. So I do think the San Antonio Spurs will want more like wing players, and maybe Franz Wagner. And he also is a pretty good defender. Not I think he can work on his on ball ability, but like his off ball, his wing defense, his off ball defense is pretty well. He's a pretty good
Mm-hmm.
team defender. He really helped Michigan a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, so I have the 13th pick, and that's with the Indiana Pacers. And will the Indiana Pacers take probably a wing, because they're looking to trade Miles Turner. I mean, because they're looking to trade Miles Turner. They also kind of want to get rid of Sabonis too in a trade. Like I think that's what their future thing is about. And I don't know what their long-term solution with Malcolm Brogdon is. So I do think there is just best for them to just take the best player available. And this guy is actually similar to Scotty Barnes, but I do think he has a much higher ceiling than him.
Mm-hmm.
And he came from a bigger school. So with the 13th pick, I have the Indiana Pacers select Jalen Johnson.
Jane Johnson.
Jalen Johnson, he's a lot of scouts compared him to like Ben Simmons coming out of college, because when Ben Simmons was coming out of college, he was a 6'9" forward that can play the guard, and he didn't play defense at all. That was in college
Mm-hmm.
ways. That was in this college days. But I do think because Jalen Johnson is 6'9" and he has all the physical tools, I do think he can be a great defender in the NBA. He also is not that bad as a shooter, because like he actually is willing to take jump shots, and he doesn't really have a great handle, and he sometimes has a turnover issue, but he is pretty consistent, because unlike Scotty Barnes, like he shows a lot more aggression, and he doesn't show like his defense. But I do think Indiana will be getting a steal here. Jalen Johnson, he
Mm-hmm.
does have a high
Great,
ceiling for sure. He
great
may
player.
be more
Obviously,
raw.
that's
He may be more raw than Scotty Barnes, but I do think he has a higher ceiling. I'm just gonna say that.
Mhm. See, that's the thing with Jalen Johnson too. Like he came from Duke, a team that was that went from amazing to so mediocre, right? Did they even make the NCAA tournament?
No, they didn't.
Yeah. So I have a few. I obviously coming out of high school, there was a lot of hype around Jalen Johnson. But honestly, I feel like if he really wanted to go up higher into the draft, I feel like he should have stayed with Duke for another year.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Mhm.
But I do think if he just wants to go straight to the NBA, Indiana is looking to like rebuild right now, because they're trying to get rid of Miles Turner, and they have no long-term solution with Sabonis and Brogdon. So I do think
Mhm.
Jalen Johnson will give them a spark. It's like, okay, this is a 6'9" forward that can be a guard, and he has all the physical tools to be a star in this league. Because this
All
is a
right,
deep
so
draft class. Like a lot of these players, like we're picking right now, could be stars. Like we actually don't
yeah.
know.
Mhm. So sorry. So if are we moving on right now?
Oh yeah, so I think I said my pick.
So what's so this is a Wizards pick, the 14th pick that
Yeah,
the
that we
Wizards
did the
acquired from
trade
the
with.
Warriors. So who do you have seventh again?
I got James Bouknight.
Oh, Book Knight. Okay. Uh, the Warriors. I mean, sorry, not the Warriors. The Wizards. Obviously. Um, this is a tough pick because I feel like the Wizards. Do you think the Wizards are gonna get rid of? Hmm, let me just actually take a look here at this. at this board. Huh. Do you think the Wizards are looking to get rid of Russell Westbrook?
I actually saw a rumor where they were willing to trade Russell Westbrook to the Lakers, and
Mhm.
we talked about this last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe they're looking to move on for him in the future.
Mhm.
I think I know who you're gonna pick here. It's just because you asked me for Russell Westbrook.
See, that's the thing, though. I feel like Davion Mitchell obviously was a great player. His draft lottery went way up, way up, way up after this. See, this is a tough pick because the Wizards right now I don't really know how to describe the Wizards. They're kind of bad.
Yeah,
They're
but they're a
bad, but
playoff team.
they're bad, but they're a playoff team. But now with Bradley Beal gone from the trade, would someone? I'm obviously stuck between some players here, but I didn't even get this far in my actual big board, so I'm just kind of looking at stats right here. But obviously, if you look at Corey Kispert, his performance throughout the NCAA tournament, it was incredible. I feel like he probably. I honestly don't. Do you want to take the 14th pick for me?
No, it's your pick, man. I have the next pick.
Wait, how far are we going?
The lottery. So we're doing 15 picks, right?
Oh, 15 picks. Okay, sorry.
Is it? Yeah.
I thought it was 14 for the lottery.
Actually, yeah, no. Since if I'm gonna make fine. Do you want me to take this pick, then you can take the last pick? Because
yeah, I'll take the last pick
because
the next pick
is basically like whoever is left apart from your board, and I'm gonna. So
well,
since it's the Wizards, right?
Mm-hmm. All right, it's a Wizards pick again after this, so it doesn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, then they're gonna get the same guys regardless.
Okay.
I think we have the two guys in mind, right? And that's
it's
Davion Mitchell.
Davion Mitchell and Corey Kispert. Davion Mitchell, obviously, he's okay. So I guess at number 7, sorry, not number 7, at number 14, they're going to take Davion Mitchell here,
and then obviously 15, they'll take Corey Kispert. So let's start. So that's our 15 picks. That's our mock draft right there, and yeah. So talk about Davion Mitchell.
Okay, so Davion Mitchell, obviously, I watched a lot of his highlights at Baylor. Obviously, throughout the NCAA tournament, we saw how good of a player he can really be. Obviously, alongside his teammate, which what's his name again? Jared Butler, right?
Yeah.
They were the duo at Baylor was just kind of incredible. So that's why obviously they won that NCAA championship. So obviously, from an explosive guard and a really consistent 3-point shooter, someone who is, I feel like on draft day is going to kind of get compared to Russell Westbrook. I feel like it would fit the Washington Wizards well. It's just Russell Westbrook has a terrible contract right now, right? So I feel like the Wizards are looking to get rid of him through a trade.
And fine, yeah, you talk about Davion Mitchell. I do think this guy was locking up Cade in college, man. Like, so that just shows you how great of a defensive impact he has, as well as like I do see like Donovan Mitchell comparisons just because they have the same name basically, but like he's really not Donovan Mitchell because he's not really athletic enough to attack the basket. He was a much better defender than Donovan Mitchell was coming out of college, but he was not really as great of a 3-point shooter, but he was also not really great as an offensive player in general.
But he is also an explosive player though.
Yeah, he is. He really likes to attack the basket.
Yeah.
And for Corey Kispert, this guy is like a 3-and-D player. I've seen a lot of Klay Thompson comparisons, which is probably fair, but I don't think he'll probably reach that. Because because he's like what 23, like he's a senior, so like there's not really much to develop from him, and like sometimes his defense is kind of a bit sloppy, and he can shoot the 3 very well. So yeah, that's easily gonna help him in the NBA.
All right, so that's our lottery.
That's our lottery. Yep. And then so let's just do the picks. Like so. For the number 1 overall pick, we got Cade Cunningham, and you picked.
Oh, sorry. Do you want me to go through that with you?
Yeah. So we just.
I thought you were just reading everything off.
Our picks. So
our picks. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got Cade Cunningham as number 1. Detroit.
Number 2, Jalen Green, with the Houston Rockets. I know you're happy about that pick.
Yeah,
I'm really happy about that pick too. Mhm.
And then Evan Mobley in the Oklahoma because we did that trade.
Mhm. Jalen Suggs to Toronto.
And then we had Jonathan Kuminga at 5 in Orlando.
Scotty Barnes, Oklahoma City Thunder.
You the Cavs because the trade.
Oh yeah, the Cavs. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And then James Bouknight at 7.
Keem Johnson at 8.
And then Moses Moody at 9 to the Kings.
Yep. Number 10, Josh Giddey.
Yeah, with the Grizzlies for sure. And then number 11 was kind of like a reach one, but it was more of like like a risk. But I think Charlotte might do it. The Alperen Sengun
Number 12, Franz Wagner.
and Jalen
Incredibly
Johnson.
consistent player. And number 14, David Mitchell.
And then 15 was Corey Kispert. So yeah, that's our mock draft right there. And I actually can't wait to the draft, man. Like we'll see if these trades happen or not, because maybe one of these guys will be traded off. There could be a trade in the draft where they just swapped picks, right? Where it's like Luka Doncic, Trae Young type thing. And yeah, I actually so we're done with the. Wait, do you have to go?
Oh no, sorry. I'm thinking about how this actually is going to turn out, because I feel like what we did today is actually like a really accurate representation of what actually might happen.
Maybe no, but we did take a lot of risk because like we thought of it like how if we were to run the team, this is who we would take.
All right.
And
so yeah,
I gotta say, hey, so yeah, I was also gonna actually talk a little bit about the Olympics. Have you been watching them?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, I've been watching the swimming ones yesterday. I saw the swimming ones yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, obviously Canadian swimming right now is insane right now for some reason. 14, we got like 14-year-olds at the Olympic winning medals.
Yeah, we're 17. Yeah, what are we doing?
I'm not even 17. I'm 16 years old.
Yeah,
I'm
still, though, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
However,
dude,
that's just what it is, man. Like if they prodigies, that's what it's called.
Prodigies, yeah, exactly.
Canadian women in swimming has been pretty well. The men are not really that great. It's just mainly because the competition is way too high.
Didn't really pay too much attention to swimming, but obviously with Penny Oleksiak and all the hype, yeah, deserved.
Also, yeah, there's I think she's swimming today.
The McNeil girl also, like the girl who won gold in the 100 fly. She was actually not Canadian. Apparently, she was adopted from China or something.
Oh, the 15-year-old?
No, not the 15-year-old. No, that's Summer McIntosh. That's the insane one. What's her name again? Something like McNeil or something. I don't really know a lot of
swimmings. I've only just seen something.
McNeil, she was actually adopted from China or something. So I did swimming for SJAM, so there was a little bit of history there, I guess.
I gotta say, so like I think what we're both looking forward to is track at the athletics thing. That's like in August, right?
Man, yeah. No, it actually starts this Thursday.
Yeah, I think this Thursday is all. Oh yeah, that's the draft. Yeah.
This Thursday is the qualifiers, and then like the small qualifiers, and the actual final. Like a lot of the finals start on like the 100-meter finals, the triple jump finals, the high jump finals are all.
So who are you looking for? Sunday. Who are you looking forward to see in the Olympics this year? Canadian one, or like any athlete, honestly.
Canadian, like
because Canadian is Andre DeGrasse, like we're both, in the Olympics.
Yeah, obviously it's the big names. So obviously Andre DeGrasse. Yeah, now with Usain Bolt gone, but obviously Sorry, these names like you don't know about because I follow a lot of track and field. But with Trayvon Bromell making it with Team USA, I feel like he's obviously running incredibly fast times, like 9.7s in the 100. So I feel like him and Andre DeGrasse is going to really battle it out at the Olympic finals, the 100-meter finals.
That would be an amazing sight to see. I gotta say, there was also this high jumper. I forgot his name. Derek Drouin.
Oh no, Derek Drouin is not at the Olympics this year, man.
Oh really? He's not.
His story is so tough, man. So basically, what happened is after 2016, he was like en route to compete at the World Championship in London in 2017.
Yeah.
And then he got like an ACL tear or something, and since then he just wasn't very. He just couldn't recover to his form. It's really sad.
Wow, man, that's actually sad.
And also, for Team Canada,
There's
Oh,
also
Ukrainian.
this Ukrainian woman for the women's. I think
Oh,
her name was like
the 19-year-old too. She's like 20. What's her name again?
maybe she's
The really tall.
Yulia Levchenko or something.
Oh, Levchenko. Oh, Levchenko was
Yeah.
good at the World Championships, but there was another one. What's her name again? Let me actually search it up. There was another girl who won indoors, who won like European indoors, and then what's her name again? Not Levchenko. And Mahusic. Yeah,
Wait,
she's like the
what
19.
country is this?
Ukraine. The
Ukraine,
19-year-old.
okay.
She's absolutely insane. She won European indoors, and then throughout like the indoor season, she was just breaking records left and right. So
Damn, man.
actually, she's consistently over 2 meters indoors. So like outdoors, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if she breaks a world record.
Mm-hmm. There's actually been a lot of world record breaking this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which one do you think was the most impressive though? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot here. Like I know because watch a lot of tracks.
Which one? No, so which one has happened so far?
There was Joshua Cheptegei. There was there was obviously Mahusic in the women's side. There was the indoor triple by the whatever name is the person from Venezuela.
I think I honestly don't know as much. So like I'm gonna have to ask you because you're more of a big track guy than me. So like which one did you think was more impressive?
I'm not gonna lie, it's probably lots of records has been broken, but I feel like actually the most impressive one would actually be the 400 hurdles, Sydney McLaughlin at the US trials this year.
That's impressive.
What a run! It's gonna get even better at the Olympics now that Sydney McLaughlin's running with like Femke Bol and all of these like talented players from Europe, like runners from Europe. Sorry.
I gotta say though, like the Olympics this year didn't really get that much hype this year because like I just had to look up when it actually was and I didn't really see it was starting on this day, it was starting on that day.
Yeah.
However, like the Olympics are still fun to watch. Like it's great to see like people like fighting for their competing for their countries. It's just fun. It's just a fun sight to see.
You know what's also
Canada has how many medals right now? 4?
No, Canada's 3 silvers, 3 bronzes, and 2 golds, I think.
2 gold? Wait, when did they get a gold in? Wait, let me check.
100 fly, women's 100 fly, and some women in weightlifting. I don't really care about weightlifting, but still gold is a gold,
Gold is a gold. But I think China has the best one, right?
For weightlifting?
No, for the medals in general. They're the high.
I'm actually not too sure about that, but it's either the US or China. It's one of the 2 countries.
Yeah, China has 18 medals, but only 6 of them are gold, so Japan is first.
Oh, Japan, really?
Yeah, Japan is first for gold, yeah.
Really? Wow. I didn't know that.
Russia is 4th. But Russia's Russia. They have so many athletes.
Mm-hmm. The ROC, right? Like because they got banned from the Olympics, so they couldn't really compete. So they had to like compete under a neutral flag. That's kind of tough. Like the Russian Olympic Committee is just the Russian Olympic Committee is just kind of tough because they've been found red-handed to encourage their athletes to dope, and that's just that's not a part of the sport.
Yeah, that's just really tough to see, but we'll see what's more on the Olympics. Maybe we'll talk about it later, but that's just what we know so far. All right. So I think we were at this for like another hour because the mock draft took a lot more time than we thought it would. So it was great to have you again. This is probably like the last part we're gonna have. So before the draft, I'll probably like upload one not with you, but like myself, like out to see like the draft and like how each team picked. So it was great to have you, Steven. So do you want to say anything before we end it?
Oh, thank you for having me. It's fun doing the mock draft.
And the Olympic talk.
Yep.
All right. So this is All Facts No Caps. I'm Harsh Sakar and with your guest Stephen Moo. And this is All Facts No Cap. And we're out.